Well, welcome to Habit 13. Okay, before we get into Habit 13, just a quick recap of what we did last night with Habit 12. Habit 12, taking 100% responsibility for everything in your life. Is a very good place for change and for mental clarity. Okay, so taking 100% responsibility. Now we're moving on to Habit 13, life-changing habit number 13, emotional freedom. This one is huge. This is the most important of the advanced habits, and it will become apparent over the next few minutes. Okay, now in terms of buckets, if you watched last night, you'll see a very similar thing. This one, your primary buckets are your emotional health and your mental health. This is your heart center. Makes a phenomenal difference to everything. Once this one's taken care of and looked after, everything else benefits, and your energy levels, vibration start to increase significantly. The secondary buckets are your physical health and your spiritual health. Now, when it comes to vibration, our emotional vibration chart is right behind me. Physically, we know from the research with Dr. David Hawkins, who did this chart, a negative thought can reduce your energy levels by 50%. So let's say you're doing a physical task and you're feeling lousy, or you've got negative stuff on your body, you've actually got less energy. When you're positive, you've got more energy. This is why optimists have more energy than pessimists, because they've got good thoughts running around their head and there's more energy in there. Okay, and it's basically, you're seeing this chart in the real world. Somebody's negative, their energy goes inwards. Somebody's happy and joyful, like a young kid, they've got plenty of energy because the atoms are vibrating faster. It is that simple. Okay, right, let's get right into this. Now, what we're talking about here, emotional freedom. I've mentioned this on the introduction videos, that the real, you could say, the purpose for all of us in this existence is to master emotions and get up this chart, because everything we want is up here, okay, towards this flow state, love, joy, and peace, where life just becomes wonderful and everything just flows the way we want it. Again, it's not easy in the modern world. The reason why is because modern living puts a lot of stress on us, and we all mentally take on we've got a lot of crap, a lot of crud, maybe a few demons in there. Now, what happens with these demons? They pull your energy down and create a lot of suffering. Now, if they're not let go, they can start to take hold and influence your life in a bad way. Okay. Now, of course, with the whole program, we want to get you up here with a set of habits, increase your vibration, and get you right up here to the good stuff, which takes time and effort, hence why it's all habits, and you do them so they're automatic, and you get there bit by bit incrementally. Okay, so we need to release all the crap that's holding us down. Okay, now you notice this with if you've got a lot of, we've all got crap and crap. This is not a one-off. This is having a good clear out and then continually cleaning and clearing to stop it forming in the first place. Now, if you've got demons, that's a different scenario, but we will cover that. Okay, you just start to do it incrementally over time, but it's important that these are removed, otherwise they do have a big impact on your life. Okay, now if you've got a lot of negative energy from the events of your life, no judgmentation here, okay, if that's the reality, you'll notice when you're put under stress, that's when they surface. Okay, you put anybody in a stressful situation, you can actually have a good idea who's, let's say, emotionally doing okay and who's emotionally struggling with a lot of underlying issues, okay, because of the way they react under pressure. When things are going well, life tends to be fairly okay. When life becomes stressful, that's when you start to see it come out. Okay, couple of examples. Right now in the UK on Channel 4, there's a program called SES, Are You Tough Enough? Or Who Dares Wins. It's a celebrity version where they're taking a load of celebrities and they're putting through SAS or Special Forces selection. Okay, now what they do, it's very, if you haven't seen it, it's very, very physical. They push you to your physical limits. The real test is your mental side, because they mess you around to push the mental side of you. When you're exhausted and they're still pushing and pushing and pushing you, because that's when they see what the person's made of. If you've got the demons, emotional demons in there, they'll find them, and then you'll see them come out. Okay, it's very, very revealing. Okay, now let's move on from that. Just want to touch basically on the mind, body, spirit chart. Okay, what we're dealing with here, we'll talk about your subconscious mind, because that's where the problems occur. Okay, now, been preparing. Okay, so we'll just talk about your two minds, your conscious minds and your subconscious minds. So things are going well, consciously you're in control. Okay, but all the darkness, the crap, the crud that weighs us down, and think of that description, weighing you down. When we talk about that, it's not physical. When you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders, it's all mental, that just pulls your energy down. You can see you're going down this chart. When somebody here has emotional freedom, like young kids, they're bouncing around because they have nothing pulling them down. It's really that simple. Okay, so this is where it is. See all this dark stuff? Okay, all the stuff that pulls us down, it's stored in your subconscious. Now, when things are going well, it's easy. Once you put under stress, this starts to come out. A very good example of this is when people are drinking. Now, what happens, people drink a lot. Alcohol anesthetizes the conscious mind, and drink enough, it gets it out of the way, and then the subconscious takes over. This is why some people, it's almost like they have a split personality when they've been drinking. Start as one person, hit a point where it's almost like you're dealing with somebody else you'll see the demons come out. Okay, not a nice thing to see, but let's not judge. But that's how you get a visual. That's how you experience somebody who's exercising these demons through drink. And you'll often hear people say, "I can't remember a thing after 9 o'clock last night. What did we do?" Okay, they've anesthetized their conscious mind, and now that underlying personality comes out. Again, sometimes you can see people are horrible because it's this stuff that's maybe been done to them that is now taking over. Okay, right, enough of that. Let's talk about the remedies for this. So we got 3 elements to go through here, and these are all about surrendering. So if this stuff's in the subconscious mind, we've got to get rid of it bit by bit, so it is no longer weighing us down. Right, now the very first one is simply letting go. Now, this refers to just general life, day-to-day experience, where you've got stressful situations, somebody cuts you up in the traffic, or you've got a busy day and it's not going to plan. It's when you feel that stress and anxiety building, it's nipping it in the bud and letting that go. That's not necessarily easy. We're going to give you more tools tomorrow for this, but it's learning to recognize it and not let it start to weigh you down. Okay, now, somebody cuts you up in the traffic. In the modern world, it seems as though you've got the God-given right to moan at them. However, you can choose your emotions. Now, one of the best phrases, which we all know, is take a deep breath. Now, if you watched Habit 4, which Stephen did 10, 12 days ago, deep breathing. Now, he explained there, when you take a deep breath through your nose in for a good 4 seconds, what it does, it kicks in your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your relaxation and restoration system. So you've got your fight and flight. Somebody cuts you up in traffic and you go into a rage. That's your fight and flight, adrenaline. Deep breath, long, deep, slow breaths puts you in the opposite and calms you down. Okay, very good technique, good tip. If you're feeling stressed, take that deep breath and think before you react. So it's spotting stuff creeping up on you and letting go. Okay, now if we look at the chart, can we just up to the computer? I need to make sure you can see this. Yeah, plenty of room. Okay, negative energy, somebody cuts you up or nasty to you or whatever, pulls you down here. When you breathe in, you become to the neutral point, and from there you can go back upwards. So the key here is you don't get pulled down, you keep your energy high. Because you think about it, even though it seems to be instinctive for a lot of people, something negative happens, bad customer service, bad somebody cuts you up in traffic, it's like you've got a right to react. No, you can choose. You can choose, and yeah, you can smile and wave, take a deep breath. Okay, it's a habitual thing. You can learn it and do it all the time, but remembering it's keeping your energy high. Now, I'm going to share with you. It's not ours. My phone's ringing. Someone's ringing me on a line. It'll disappear shortly. Now, it's a brilliant bit of wisdom. Asking it is given, which is Esther and Jerry Hicks, Abraham Hicks. Phenomenal. Highly recommend this book. This is in the car. Hopefully, you can hear me above my ringtone. Maybe I should put some silent. Amateur. Okay. Now in here, they give an explanation about modern life, because this is a collective of high dimensional beings, benevolent beings who give a lot of wisdom. We've got a lot of this in the program because it is that good. Highly recommend that book. Now, they're watching us and they're saying, watching human beings in modern life, because it's so busy, it's like you're in a rowing boat and you're all paddling upstream, frantically paddling, trying to get ahead. He said the vast majority of people, he says it's just a constant struggle. Their advice is, so you don't even need to turn the boat around, just take your oars out of the water and go with the flow, because everything you want is down the stream. Okay, now this is quite powerful. In the pack, we call it the rowing boat. I've got my son-in-law using this. We call it, we've put it in there. It's like rowing boat. I use this with my day job. If things aren't quite going to plan and you're trying to fit everything in, you're thinking, okay, there's a point I go, I think of the rowing boat. Don't force it. Don't force it. Just let it go. We'll figure this out. We'll rearrange and get it in another day. Everything always falls into place. Okay, so it's recognizing when you're pushing too hard and you're getting stressed. Just let go. Take your oars out of the water and just go with the flow. It always resolves itself. Okay, and that's stopping the adrenaline rising and just staying in control of emotions. So the first one is letting go. Second one, this one is huge, is forgiveness. Now, this is where a lot of demons come from. When somebody has wronged you, and of course, there can be some real deep-seated stuff here if somebody's abused you in some way. Okay, so this is the big one, because if somebody's really impacted your life in a really, really negative way, and you're carrying that still, it's going to take some getting rid of. So we're not saying these techniques will have it done in a couple of weeks. No, it might need some sort of therapy or hypnotherapy to do it. Okay, but the intellectual understanding of this is absolutely paramount. Okay, now I've got my prop. Now I want you to think somebody's done something horrendous to you that you're still holding on to because it was such a traumatic event. I want you to think of that negative energy as this on you. Okay, so here, this is human nature. It's not, I'm not being judgmental, it's human nature where you've got a grudge against that person, which is very understandable because they've really harmed you. But here's what's going on, is you're the one holding that negative energy and you're projecting it onto somebody else. As human and normal as that seems. But the bottom line is you're still the one carrying the energy. Okay. Now the way around this is habit 12, 100% responsibility. It's your responsibility to get rid of this energy, whatever it takes. Now, the key here is forgiveness. Now, I've heard a few people say this, and it's becoming more popular and it's good. Forgiveness isn't really about the other person. It's about you, healing you. Okay, so by forgiving the other person, or let's say the grudge, the best definition of a grudge, and it's in the pack that I've ever heard, is you take the poison, you expect somebody else to die. You're projecting on them hatred, whatever, which is very understandable, but you're the one holding the negative energy. Okay, so the key to this is ultimately forgiving everybody who's ever wronged you, okay, for you to heal. Now, that might be a major task if it's something very, very traumatic and it might need professional help. If it does, it's strongly advised you get the right professionals. If you need guidance, please get in touch through social media. We can point you in the right place. Therapists, hypnotherapists. Hypnotherapy is a very good way because you don't have to relive it. Then go in your subconscious and help you that way without you having to go through the trauma again. But okay, now purposely pick this onion to use as that energy, because if it's something major, it's not right, forgive, gone. You've got to do it a layer at a time, a layer at a time. And each time you go through the process I'm about to give you, you shave a bit off, you shave a bit off, and it gets easier and easier till eventually it's gone. So you can look at that person or look at a picture of that person, look them in the eye and say, I completely forgive you. Because remember, it's about you healing, not about them. With the way the universal laws work, karma's going to get them anyway. Okay, now to give you an example in my life, and it's in the pack, 2009, I had two businesses, a financial services business that was doing pretty well, secondary business related to property overseas, very clever mechanism that was flying, was in good position. Long story short, the secondary business had what we found out was a con man in it. The guy got some bad publicity. We realised who he was. We actually knew before then. They had to shut it down. Guy stole a load of money, 700 grand or something like that. Okay, and it was a nightmare, but it got worse for me because of the fallout. The regulators panicked and got rid of the other business. So I went from a very good position to pretty much having everything taken away very fast in just a few short weeks. It was a major shock. Now, the most important thing here, this con man, and after that I woke up, became very spiritual, got to know Stephen, and Stephen gives me a lot of guidance. Stephen's very spiritually gifted, access to the spiritual realm through his guides. And Stephen confirmed that the con man who ripped me off, we'd actually had the conversation in spirit. If you watch the introduction, we talked about your higher self in spirit, the program designer, where you decide what you're going to do when you design the life that's right for you. Okay, me and him had sat down and basically planned this out, where he'd be the perpetrator, I would be the victim. So knowing that higher awareness, how can I have any anger towards him? I don't. I have none whatsoever, because I can see I needed to go through that to get the lessons, okay, which I've now got extra wisdom. Now, karmically, he's got to repay that because he stole money, but he'd agreed to do it on a higher level. Okay, so of course, the intellectual understanding of this makes a big difference, because it helps you to realize what's going on, because this is all about energy. It's not about them, it's about you. Now, one of the best ways to do this, to start to forgive, you'll see this in the pack, is take a sheet of paper and a pen and write it down. Now, what this does, it's got to be, don't do it on a computer, it's got to be writing, because you write with your subconscious mind. Okay, now here's a little exercise for you to test this. Now, you know what your handwriting's like. Now, next time you're on the beach, write your signature with your tongue, or do it with your elbow. Gentlemen, after you've been to the pub and it's snowing and you need to go to the loo, try and write your signature in the snow while you're having a pee. And now you'll notice, doesn't matter what part of the body you use, your signature will still be the same. Okay? Because what happens is your subconscious is doing the control. Your signature is your subconscious expressing itself. This is why graphologists, handwriting experts, can know your personality from your handwriting, because they can see what's in here once they're trained to do it. Okay, so what writing does, physical writing, physical pen on paper, it accesses all the different parts of your brain, and it really gets the emotions out there. Okay, so you get it on there, really get into it, so it makes you cry. Crying is wonderful. We encourage crying because it's the body's release mechanism. So get in there, and just write it all down. It doesn't matter how much hatred there is. I hate you for what you did, and this. Each time you do it, you're taking that layer off the onion, okay? Because you're getting it out of you onto paper. Now, you could write a letter to that person. Now, if it's you might want to throw it away. It's up to you. I've done this in the past. I did it 5 years ago with somebody who was a little bit out of line with me, and I thought, right, I've got to deal with this. So I wrote him a long email, took a few hours on it over a weekend. Come Monday morning, I thought, I don't need to send this because I've gotten rid of it. Okay, and that is the key. If it's appropriate, you may want to send it, but you'll often find you don't need to because it's just getting it out on paper. Okay, because when it comes to emotions are real, should never ever be suppressed. They've got to be expressed. And where all this comes from is emotions going in and they're not released. So everything we're talking about here is not suppressing them. It's just getting them back out. However bad they are, if it's trauma, get it out. Use therapy, whatever it needs to be. Okay, so that's the second one. Forgiveness. Very, very powerful. Forgiving everyone and everything who's ever wronged you, okay, for you to heal. Right, the third and final one is detachment. Okay, now detachment is effectively detaching from outcomes. Now we're all programmed by the world, gonna have a big house, big car, perfect life. Okay, and we make plans and we think it's got to happen in this set order. And then when it doesn't go to plan, we start getting upset and yeah, and anxiety fills in, and it's never going to happen to me, and then your energy gets pulled right down. Okay, now detachment is making plans, going about your life, doing what you want to do, getting your heart and soul into things. We'll cover that in 2 days on section 15, how to do that. Okay, but do not detach the outcome. Think, okay, whatever happens, happens. Okay, now this not necessarily easy. To give you an example, you'll see this in the past. Now, I'm instantly going to put a huge amount of time and effort into creating this. Now, I look on the screen, I can see there's 5 people watching. Okay, now we love hundreds. However, it makes no difference. We have no attachment to what happens with this. Okay, we believe this is life-changing information. And hopefully it will help people, generally help people, and in time, it's timeless, and in time have a big impact. But we've not put any parameters on it. Must do this, must do that. Of course, it costs us money to put it on the platforms. Okay, but that's what I mean. We're not having any detachment with an outcome that must happen and it's going to pull us down. No, we're just going to go out there, do it, and see what happens. Okay, so this is emotional freedom. When you can go through life and thinking, okay, when you've got plans and they don't go the way you expect it, and just think, oh, okay, it's meant to be. The universe has got something better in store. Okay, that's a very, very good mindset. Now, going back to our mind, body, spirit chart, if you think you've got your higher mind is connected to source, so you're multi-dimensions, you're in all dimensions here, okay, but you're doing your best in the third. Now, you may have specific plans and think it's got to happen this way, then that, then that, then that, which is quite logical and natural, nothing wrong with that. But the universe is in everything, source is in everything, and it knows every single permutation. So that car crash you've had and everything's falling apart, the universe is probably thinking, no, I need to get you in a car crash, because when you go to the repair place, you're going to meet somebody who's going to open a door from you, and their nephew is going to be the perfect person for you, who's going to give you everything you want. Okay, but that's emotional intelligence when you can operate from that level. And we'll be doing that next year once we get into the law of attraction stuff, how it really works. The elite are taught this from a young age. Okay, when something goes wrong, get excited, because it's natural. Something goes wrong, you get your energy pulled down where you should go the other way. Okay, right. So just to summarize, letting go, forgiveness, and detachment. It's all about getting rid of the crap, the crud, any demons, whatever it takes. And this is, first of all, working on what's there now, and then continually cleaning and clearing so you don't take any more on. Okay, because this is the gateway to emotional freedom. Okay, right. So I'm wrapping up now. One of our good shots. Now, talking about the law of attraction. Okay, this will make you laugh. We say you've got to get excited about what you really want, emotionally excited. Law of attraction. It's here. You need to get us into a super heightened intent. You need to give a super heightened intense thought and get really excited about what you want. Okay. When it comes to detachment, it's when you don't give a super heightened intense thought about the outcome. That's when you're on the right track. Hopefully you're smiling when you see that, okay, because that is what detachment's all about. It's getting really, really excited because it's the excited feeling that you want, but when it doesn't quite happen how you want, you don't give a super heightened intense thought. Okay, hope you're laughing. Right, Okay, so I need to wrap up. So the box, for this one, Asking It is Given, brilliant wisdom, absolutely phenomenal. And one of David Hawkins, Letting Go. Okay, absolutely phenomenal book as well. It's quite a long read. Okay, a lot of that stuff has gone into our pack. Okay, so there's a lot of expertise that we've put in there. Okay, so I'd highly recommend those if you've got the time. And he will go into a much deeper level to say all this negative emotions, if you keep it in long enough, it can turn into disease. Okay, because it lowers everything, it increases adrenaline, cortisol, looping of thoughts, keep you in low vibrations. You're more susceptible to ailments and disease. Okay, it's quite shocking. Right, so I'll come to I'll wrap this up because it's getting on for half an hour. I've got some music to go out to. So practicing emotional balance, just little tips. Me and Stephen doing this. When you're in the traffic, be as calm as anything. Anybody cuts you up, so what? You get bad customer service. Be as nice as you possibly can. Make a habit of doing that, doing the opposite to what most people would do, because that helps you practice emotional control. Okay, just get the right page. Right, the recommended habit action steps is 1, let go of everything that bothers you. 2, unconditionally forgive everyone, past and present, who has wronged you. Detach from all outcomes and just let them go. Practice the above for every day. Don't go to bed with any tension. Acknowledge, accept, and release any negative emotional states that crop up during your normal day. That's all in the program. Please go and get it. It's free. Option to donate, but no obligation. It's all in there. Okay, right. That's it for today. Now tomorrow we stay on the same theme. It's very similar, 13 and 14 together. We're going to give you specific tools to deal with stuff in your everyday situation. Very, very practical, very, very simple. Okay, that's enough for today. Thank you very much for watching. And if you can, please join me tomorrow for Habit 14. Thank you.